Welcome to this edition of the Reidsville Chamber of Commerce News and Views. I'm your host, Diane Sawyer, president of the Reidsville Chamber. Today might be one of my favorite episodes that we have ever done. We are going to have some of our staff on. So welcome to the show, Debbie.
Thank you.
Debbie, you have been our outreach coordinator now since December of 2019. The big, bad pandemic broke out just a couple months after you came, and things got crazy wild. Tell us a little bit about just you. Tell us about yourself, what you want to share. We talk about your grandkids a lot. Tell us about yourself and where you worked before and how long you've been in Rockingham County and whatever you'd like to share.
Well, I have actually lived in Rockingham County for 37 years. Have 3 daughters, 6 grandchildren. Prior to working for the chamber, I worked for 30 years for vocational rehabilitation, which is the part of Health and Human Services. I did job placement, help individuals who have disabilities to employment to find employment. So I'm very familiar with job search activities, helping prepare individuals for finding employment. Love that. And we were members of all 3 chambers. That's where I developed my relationship with the Reidsville Chamber, because you all were so active, and I volunteered for a lot of the events on this side of the county, and just kind of developed a love for chamber work. And here I am.
Yeah, it's something special. If you've never worked for a chamber, you just don't really understand. And I think even for you, we made you an ambassador and you'd been volunteering, and then I couldn't let you retire. And I said, Debbie, when you retire, I want you to come work for me. And so I got that phone call and we made it happen. And I think even you've seen how different it is on this side of things.
It is very different. A lot of work that you don't realize goes into event planning and just everyday normal chamber activity. I mean, if you're not fully involved and love what you do, the chamber's not going to be successful. It starts from within, and it just kind of escalates after that, because our members are who we serve, and if they're not happy, it doesn't make for a good relationship with the chamber. So that's why we try to keep our members happy and do everything we can to help them when they need it.
So that's exactly what I wanted to talk about today, is trying to help our members. And that's something that, so there's like a twofold piece of why I wanted you to come on board. And so part of your job is to make those touches throughout the year, to welcome our new members, make sure they get that personal phone call. You're really great to help us after an event wrap up and get that letter out, thanking our sponsors and our participants. But the other thing that I really wanted was this idea behind, you worked in that system for 30 years trying to help place people in jobs, and especially now post-pandemic, that's the biggest need that we have, that we see in our membership. So much so that our upcoming Business Expo and Job Fair is only one day still, because people can't commit to being out for 2 days because they don't have enough workforce. So workforce was something that I really wanted to have a little more strength in our staff in our office, which is why we brought you. And I think that we are really trying to develop these relationships and these partnerships, which you've been so good at. What do you think? You talk about the members and trying to keep them happy. What do you think about how important it is for us to have those relationships with those partnering agencies and within our community and our businesses?
It's what makes the whole picture come together. I mean, you have to have a working relationship, just like in my previous job. I had to go out and meet with employers and talk to employers. That was part of the reason we were members of all 3 chambers, to develop that networking piece, to talk to these employers, to get that one-on-one feel, because I could pick up the phone and say, hey, so-and-so, do you have anything opening? I've got this candidate. that piece, even with the chamber, it's invaluable. I mean, it's just, you can't put a price tag on it. I know the response I get when I call new members and remind them that we have a coffee coming up, how a lot of people thank me. Well, thank you. I'm new. I didn't know that. They don't know what's coming up on the schedule because they are new. So I just think that's a valuable piece for the ambassadors, board members, and us here within the chamber.
We have a really strong group. I mean, there's a total of 5 of us and staff off and on, part-time and full-time. And then there's, about a group of 40 people between our board members and our ambassadors that are super involved with the chamber and our committees. And, I talk about all the time that our relationships are what everything is based on. Probably one of my favorite things has been over the years with you is getting to know me being from Eden and you living in Eden and your husband being a city councilman and having to go to school right above your girls. And it's funny, like all the same people we know and whatever. But what really tickles me is when somebody that you haven't seen in a long time comes through the chamber and they're like, Debbie, and you're like, hey. And I know one of my favorites throughout the years, Rajiv. I love Rajiv.
Yeah.
He was such a great board member for us, and he has gone on to bigger and brighter and, just better things with opening his Georgia Foods Company and the stores all over Georgia. But, that was one of the ones that you worked with so regularly to find placement for people. And so it's so much fun just to see like these relationships. We were just talking about Daryl Womble with NC Works, and saw him at the Career Expo event that the county was having for the 7th and 10th graders, and gave him a big old hug. And we stay connected through Facebook, and when one of us needs something, we just reach out and we're like, hey, do you know about X, Y, and Z? And so it's just so important for our community to be engaged, and you've been a big piece of that. So let's talk about, one of the things I wanted to talk about today was how we turned around our business expo and added the job fair piece because it was so important. And we've had some additional smaller job fairs along the way, but we've made this a part of our show, and you've been able to bring on some pieces. So talk to us a little bit about what we expect to see at the Business Expo.
Well, first of all, it was here last year, but it's coming again, the NC Works mobile career bus. That is a piece that I think is very important for those who don't have resumes or need help with job search. It's equipped with computer. It's going to have someone manning it. The Rockingham County Bookmobile is a new addition this year. For the younger kids that come, we have the entertainment piece coming, at that later in the afternoon, and that'll be something that the kids can enjoy. And they're really trying to get the bookmobile out and more visible in the county. So I think that's another good addition.
I think so too, and I think we'll try to focus on making this connection kind of from the elementary to the middle and the high. And we've been involved in different pieces and have a workforce development committee, but one of the greatest success stories out of last year was our naming sponsor, Tri-State Steel.
Right.
He was able to hire 2 people who are full-time, and one of them is bilingual. He'd been looking for a bilingual person for 5 solid years and had not been able to find him. And through us promoting and having this job fair, he was able to connect. And to me, if that's all we did was connect our businesses and then one person got a job out of it, it was successful.
Exactly. And it's funny, yesterday I got a phone call, I hadn't even had a chance to tell you, from the Kernersville Chamber of Commerce. And they had seen all our advertisements for our Business Expo and Job Fair. And she said, how are y'all successful with this? We just haven't been successful. She said, the main thing we get are people just coming in.
The trick-or-treat.
The trick-or-treaters. And she said, that's so funny because that's what we call them too. And she said, I said, well, it used to just be a business expo. I said, but once the pandemic hit and then everything kind of settled down, we had all these members who were looking for employees and they couldn't find them. So, of course, our chamber president, with her great mind, wanted to add the job fair piece to it. And I said, and last year it was so successful. We had, one of our members hire 2 people. And I said, and we actually had people come in doing job search. And then she went to ask, well, how do you distinguish who's looking for work? So I explained that to her, and she said, you have given me so many ideas. I said, well, don't reinvent the wheel. She said, well, I would love to come and just see what's going on with you all and how successful it is. And I told her about the lunch. And she said, oh, so that's how. I said, yes, we have a luncheon right before the show starts. And I said, and we do a ribbon cutting. You do a ribbon cutting? I said, yeah, we have a ribbon cutting to kick the show off. So she was very nice and really appreciated just hearing how we do things.
That's what I love. And we used to have a Piedmont Triad region group for the chambers, but we don't reinvent the wheel. We are happy to share and give that knowledge willingly when people, want to hear about it. And I think for me, our sponsor's a big piece of it. Tri-State Steel, they are coming back and returning as our naming sponsor, and they are engaged and they shout it from the rooftops. And they've told our vendors, if you don't put anything into it, you're not going to get anything out of it. And I say that to our vendors, put your booth, anybody in any expo anywhere, put your table in the back of your booth, stand in front of it, put high chair, bistro style chairs in the front, put some sort of activity, some sort of engaging piece, draw people into your booth. And it matters. And
I think it matters.
And we've even added this year, I'm so excited, this pumpkin contest. And we do a booth contest for bragging rights, and oh bless Miss Donna Evans, she is gonna go all out.
She definitely will.
And First Carolina wins almost every year in something because they really engage people and make their booth successful. And I think that is the most important piece, is that B2B. And we used to do it separately, right? We used to say, oh, okay, we're gonna do the VIP night before and the B2B, and then we'll open to the public. But I honestly think that all of it being combined is what's making us so successful right now, because A, people have very limited time that they can commit to anything.
Yeah.
And B, being able to draw people in for the job fair still gets us that active participation from the community to the other businesses. So even if you're not hiring somebody, the business expo piece is still there. If you just want somebody to know about your nonprofit, or you just want somebody to know about the services you offer, let's take one of our sponsors. You could talk about Tri-State Steel, you could talk about Used Power Sports, Sears Construction, you could talk about Reed's Computers. Any of them, they all offer services that are not just commercial, right? Like Reed, he can do cameras for your house, he can do cameras for your church, he can set up your conference room. You got Steve, he's got this great big industry where he's shipping stuff out, but he's also got his retail store now that if you just have a project on the weekend, you can come and grab metal. So it's important for them to see both audiences. And so I think that that's why the show is so successful at this point.
Well, and like my quote from Maya Angelou, the last part of it, you'll never forget how they made you feel. And if you don't, as a vendor, get up and greet these folks and talk to them and tell them about your business, how are they ever going to know? And they won't forget how you made them feel, how welcoming you were. They may be looking for a new bank. They may be looking to do construction or home improvement. You never know. You just never know. You never know.
And it's the same concept here. And we really try hard to, and we have two audiences. We have our membership, but we also have the community at large, and our goal is to connect them. So, well, we are out of time, Debbie. Is there anything else you want to share about yourself or about your work here at the Chamber?
No, just love being at the Chamber and love doing what I do, even though sometimes I get a little frustrated because I don't know everything I need to know, but I have learned so much in the 4 years that I've been here. And I just do what I need to do and get the job done.
Well, I think we have a really great mix of group of people here who have the abilities and the skills with the people skills and the phone skills and the computer skills, but most of all, like the human factor that we bring.
Right.
And I think that we have a really great group of people who's bringing that human factor. So thank you.
It's funny. Let me just end with this. Yesterday I was here and I heard the door open and I got up and looked out and it was one of the police officers from Eden. She had to find a restroom. She was here with her supervisor and I know her, and she walked in and she stopped dead in her tracks. Like, what are you doing here? She said, I didn't know you worked here. And I said, yeah, I've been here 4 years. And she said, well, I am so glad to see you. She said, but can I use your bathroom? And I said, not a problem. And then she came back out and she talked to me for a little bit. So she said, now I know where you are. I said, yep.
Know where to find you.
It's excellent.
And you know that you say that it makes me think about the visitor center. So thankful to have the visitor center. So thankful for people to be able to come through and grab a cup of coffee, use the free Wi-Fi, use the restroom, whatever it takes. So
yeah, and she was very complimentary on our building and how nice it was. And
that's
I
awesome.
said, yeah, we're very fortunate.
We are. Well, thank you for being a part of our team, Debbie. Thank you for interviewing with me, even though it took you out of your comfort zone.
Yes, it did.
And I appreciate you. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to bring on our newest Reidsville Chamber staff member, Katie Wrenn. Welcome back to the News and Views show today. On the second half, we are back with our new administrative assistant, Katie Wrenn. Welcome to the show, Katie.
Hello.
So excited to have you on so many levels, but I think for me, it is a full circle thing. You know, Debbie and I were just talking about relationships and having this variety of skill set. And I've gone from being the only person with one salesperson to having a part-time person that was about my age to being the youngest person in the office and the oldest person in the office. And now I'm back in the middle. So it's where I like to be. And as the 12 years of the chamber have come and gone, we've had so many wonderful people who've worked here and been able to go on to other things. And so I'm really hopeful for you that you're here for a while. Maybe it becomes a career for you and when we grow this thing together, but maybe it's a stepping stone. But the biggest piece for me is like who you are, where you're from, how you landed here. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, so I'm 24 and I've lived in Rockingham County for most of my life. There was a short period where I lived in Washington State, but we'll talk about that a different day. And I've lived in Reidsville most of my life as well. I started with going to South End and went to Reidsville Middle, and then I went to Reidsville High School. I was really active in high school. I was in the IB program at Reidsville High, and I also did theater at Reidsville High as well. And I've really wanted to grow and do more within the community. But I've been working in Greensboro for the past 3 years and just haven't really had the opportunity. I haven't really been able to do much since graduating high school. In high school, I did a lot with my church and just trying to help people. And I've felt drawn to come back to help people. And I feel like I'm in the perfect place to do that now.
Well, we're so excited to have you. And one of the coolest ways the chamber decided to go back. We've had some success with some of our staffing agencies in the past. And so we said, let's go to one of our staffing agencies. They are experts in hiring. I'll let them do the hard work. And they were able to search through literally like 100 candidates to get down to just a handful. And then you rose to the cream of the crop out of that. And I'm just really excited to have you here and have you here as a right hand. But thank you to Chad Blakely and his staff at Workforce Unlimited.
They are amazing. They have checked up on me 2-3 times a week since I've started, making sure everything's going smoothly, making sure I'm comfortable and everything's going great. I'm very thankful for them. Him and Gabby have been amazing to work with, and I want to continue to work with them. And since they're with the chamber as well, it's just full circle.
So really excited. We've got our upcoming event, the Reidsville Business Expo, and we are really just working hard and trial by fire. You came in at the absolute start of the peak of our busy season, and it has been a wild ride so far, but we're really excited to be doing that. That is Thursday, October the 26th at Reidsville Christian Church on South Park Drive. Tell us a little bit about what you think as somebody coming in with outside fresh eyes. Like, so far you haven't been there, but you've seen a lot of the planning. Like, what are you expecting to get out of it?
I'm expecting it to be a really big turnout. Just from what I've done personally, I know that there's going to be a lot of vendors there. There's going to be a lot of activities to do as well. And I know everyone's going to bring their A game, and it's just going to be it's going to be a helpful event, but it's also going to be a fun event. So I'm very excited to see how it turns out.
Yeah, and I think for me, from the chamber perspective, we've got this great group of ambassadors, a great group of board members, and a couple of our committees have really risen to the cream of the top, but I'm telling you, this Business Expo committee is on it.
Yeah,
they have been awesome. And so we've had all these ideas for contests and door prizes and giveaways. And I'm excited for us to start posting on our Facebook event, hey, like, wanted to let you guys know about this is happening, or hey, wanted to let you know about this. So I think when we talk about the pumpkin contest, people can come out and see that. The job fair portion,
we have bingo as well.
We're going to have the bingo. Like, we're going to be able to talk about all of that stuff. So another thing that's happening, we are partnering. So since we were going to be able to be at Reidsville Christian Church, another one of our members, Mount Jubilee Ministries, that is where they have their day program called His Path. And so we have the adult population there with special needs. And our friends there, the heroes, are going to be a part of the show. They are doing some centerpieces for us. They're going to be at lunch, and they're going to be hopefully active at registration. And we're just super thankful for that partnership.
Yeah, I was talking, is it Cecil?
Yes,
yeah,
it
I was
is
talking
Cecil.
with him yesterday, and he was telling me about what they're going to do with the centerpieces, and I'm just so excited to see how they're going to turn out.
Yeah, I think it's going to be
really cute.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's going to be really cute. And I do think that our sponsor is Tri-State Steel for the name and sponsor, and then we're having this really awesome VIP invitation-only lunch where Sears Construction and Reed's Computer Sales and Services and Use Power Sports are sponsoring. And we're just thankful to have all of those guys and have them be a part of what's happening, and we just, all this support and all this engagement, because for us, like, this isn't a fundraiser. This is like a member service event that we do for the members to be able to connect to other businesses and to be able to connect their products and services to the community. And I'm excited about the visibility because South Park from 2 to 7:30 on a Thursday,
it's very busy.
It's going to be so wild.
Yeah.
I think that for us, that might be one of the highest traffic areas we've ever been in. So how cool is that?
It's very, very cool, and I'm just excited for like people within the community to have help. So a lot of people don't know like what to put on their resume, how to have that, and we're going to have assistance for resumes as well, which is going to be very helpful for the community.
You know what else I'm excited about? That I might catch you and I on secretly somewhere. So we're both bookworms. And the bookmobile is coming.
I'm very excited about the bookmobile.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I remember going to the library in Eden as a child, and I would literally come out like with a stack of books so high that I couldn't really see over it, and I would get through that entire stack like in a week, and we would go back and I would turn them in, and I would get like a whole nother stack, and there would be a range from, Sweet Valley High to horror stuff to just, history stuff and biographies. And it's almost like a lost art.
It really
Kids
is.
going to the libraries because you've got everything on your phone. And I'm guilty. But one of the first things that you did after your second week, and I caught you in the parking lot and you were like, I've been to the library. Tell us about your experience with that.
So like I said, I worked in Greensboro for about 3 years, and by the time I would come home from work, I wouldn't really have time to do anything in Reidsville. I couldn't go to events. I couldn't really do much. So one of the first things that I wanted to do working back in Reidsville was get a library card, and I already checked out 3 books and I returned one yesterday, so I'm gonna go back again today. But yeah, I love reading. That's one of the things that I'm most passionate about, and that's one of the reasons why I'm going to school for English. So
We're very excited for you with that. Tell us a little bit about your journey there, where you're going and what you're doing. And
So I'm going to Guilford Tech right now. I'm doing an online program, getting my associates in English, and I haven't quite decided where I'm going to transfer yet. I still have about a year and a half to decide on that, but I definitely want to grow my knowledge with the English aspect, with the publishing, with the editing, all of that kind of stuff. And I'm mostly just doing it for myself. I don't really have like a set career path right now. I'm just kind of going with the flow, but I definitely want to strengthen my knowledge for myself. And who knows where I will end up, but hopefully I'm still here.
Yeah, well, we hope you're still here too.
Right.
We hope that we make it something for you that could be career. But, you know, I think, and I don't know how you feel about this, but I know anytime that I am in a leadership program or a school path or a certificate program, I feel like when you're in that learning mode, it just like opens everything up for
really
us. So
does.
I feel like you stay in that learning mode. And so I've noticed it with you here. Like, I think that it helps keep you like driven and focused for what you want to do for the day, because not only do you have to accomplish all the things that you're doing, you have to go home, take care of a house, take care of a husband, take care of your dogs, and get all your schoolwork done.
Right.
So, you know, it's just like it takes a driven person to be able to do all those things.
Right, and it's definitely been a lot of trial and error. I tried going to college a few times, from graduating high school to now that I'm 24, and I think the most important thing is you decide what you want to go to school for yourself, not for what other people tell you to do. And that's one thing that I'm doing now, and I enjoy school so much more now that I'm going for something that I enjoy.
I can believe that. I am sure that is the truth of that completely. Well, we have a ton of stuff coming up. Let's talk for a minute. We have got some ribbon cuttings, and we have
have a
got
lot.
trick or treat, we've got business expo, and you know, we are just going to be busy. But the thing that I am most excited about, that I cannot wait to introduce you to, is once Halloween is over, it is time for Shop Small season. And we used to be really, really big on the Shop Small Saturday, which is the first day after the Thanksgiving holiday, where Black Friday happens, and then Shop Small. And that's where you promote shopping local in your business. It's a long time event by American Express. But the Shop Small season is a new chamber thing. And it starts right after Halloween, and it's for the duration of the holiday season. And it's just something to remind people that if you keep your dollars local, it helps support the infrastructure, it helps support your schools and your roads and your community. And I get it. I get that we have some things we're missing in Reidsville. It's difficult to find certain things for men or for children. Women have a lot more options. There's a lot of small boutiques and that sort of thing. But, you know, when people are shopping for Christmas, if you can buy a gift locally, if you can buy a gift at the local boutique or at a small business, gift cards, those sorts of things, and keep that money local, it helps our community thrive. And I'll be the first to tell you, I always look for stuff here. Obviously have to go. I have 3 small children. I have to go outside for other things. But if at all possible, I try to buy my clothes for work. I try to buy things that I can, gifts for other people. But downtown's on a uptick.
It really is.
We've just opened a new restaurant. I know of 2 or 3 buildings that have sold that are going to be flipping and being other things. And there is just so much cool stuff in the air.
Yeah, I definitely recommend the Boca Loca. Oh my goodness.
So
it
good.
was so good.
It was so good. We're going to be over there all the time.
Yeah.
And, you know, we have our small town, you know, vibe down here. We've got our own locally owned coffee shop, and we've got all these boutiques, and we've got a couple of hot spots for lunch, and then the brewery's open, and everything is just starting to pop over there. So the theater across the street and having the live music, and it's just all kinds of stuff. So now is the time.
It really is.
Yeah. So I'm excited to have you. Welcome aboard. I'm so thankful that you are here, and thankful that as a young person that you are getting actively engaged in the community, and that you're going to be a part of, I hope, us for a really long time.
That is the plan, and I'm very excited to be here.
Well, thank you, Katie, for being with us. And that is all for today's show. We are just always located in the heart of downtown beautiful Reidsville at 140 South Scale Street. You can find us on our social media channels or online at www.reidsvillechamber.org. And we'll see you soon.